This is why our morning blessing today, as I started, goes like this. Good morning, everybody. That's lovely, Nancy. Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling today? So, we're back to the morning blessing. It's Friday, April 17th. And today we are closing out the week by looking at a currency that is far more valuable than the dollar. I don't mean a foreign currency. But maybe, just maybe, to some of us, it might be a foreign currency. We never knew that currency is there. We never realized and looked at it as a currency. We hear so much about inflation at the grocery store and the gas pump. But have you noticed the inflation of stress? Have you noticed that? The inflation of stress. What I'm saying is this. If you don't inflation-proof your mind, your heart, and the world will bankrupt your joy before lunch today. That's just how it is. They tell you to stay alert, get involved, listen to the news, and you have to. Because when you do listen to what we say is bad news, we learn things that can protect us or those we love. And this is where it all begins. The rising cost of maintaining your peace, it's expensive to do that. And the thing is, the price at the pump and the grocery store and all of that is high. But then we put the stress, we notice the inflation of stress, the rising cost of maintaining our peace. And as I said, if you do not inflation-proof your mind and your heart, no, the world will bankrupt your joy before lunch. You will your attitude will change. Your behavior will transform. Your body language will speak of defeat. You see, as we lean into the 5 pillars of prosperity today, we are laser focused on mental and emotional. That's where we're going. Because when the world gets loud and expensive, your inner stability must become your greatest asset. I talk a lot about the pillars because this is something I know for sure we need to have to live a fulfilled life. Get them in place. Our mental and emotional prosperity takes the blow. It takes it often, sometimes silently. Emotionally, we're not feeling it, or we are feeling all of it. Mentally, we're just floating like a boat on the ocean without a rudder, no sails, and the wind takes it wherever it goes. This is what the world is doing to us right now. So the emotional prosperity takes the blow because we react to what we hear, think, and say. The core argument here is this. Your mental pillar is under attack by inflation. We are taking it in more bad news and high-speed anxiety that our minds weren't ever designed to carry. We weren't. Our mind was never designed to carry so much anxiety in one day, in 1 hour. You turn on the news or you just turn on the TV and there is something that will tell you the world is just going to hell in a handbasket. And that's really hard to take. And we put it in our mind. And when we carry that emotional and mental weight, our body reacts this way. It shuts down. Our shoulders are not up anymore. It just feels like we're defeated. What do I do? And some people stop functioning physically. So you see, everyone attacks the other. And that affects our pillars all the time. So how do we protect that inner world of ours? We have to protect it by making sure we understand what it's all about. Our minds and our emotion wasn't designed to be just flooded with all of this negative news and information that we cannot even process. So if we look at it from another way, if you had a limited amount of mental capital to spend today, this is it. You have this mug full of your mental capital for today. That's all you've got. Would you spend it all on worrying about things you cannot control? Would you? Because we have to be practical in an emotionally turbulent world right now. We have to find a little spot to figure out that we need to be a little bit more practical with our emotion. That's all we have is today. We do not have tomorrow. I keep telling you and reminding you that tomorrow is a mystery. We do not even know whether it will unfold with us breathing in it. Yesterday we cannot control. We have to treat the news and all that negative information like yesterday or tomorrow, because it's not there. It is there, but they're going to tell us it has to take all of us. So we have to say, no, it's not taking me. We have to learn to protect our inner world. And one of the things I pray you do is to find some moments of stillness and silence. I'm going to tell you a little story about me. I always had this dream in my mind that I love writing, and I can do it away at home. When I say at home, I mean my parents' place in Dominica. I can sit anywhere on that estate and I can see the ocean or the mountains or the tree. You're there. I always wanted to have a seat at a window. That was my dream. So I can look out the window while I am writing, because I do that every day. I was so busy looking for it outside of my environment that it was only after all these years of living in this house, it was only day before yesterday I found it. Just there. It was always there. But I was looking for something I already have outside of me. It only took me a few moments to turn a chair around. A chair that I have sat in for ages and months and years. Not the same one, but the same spot. And when I turned the chair to face south and my left hand is facing east, the sun comes in that room blazing. The crystal on the chandelier will reflect its colors on the walls. That's how beautiful it can be. But I couldn't see that window as the place I could write, because I was looking for something I already had, and I couldn't find it. So when we go gallivanting and we take in what is outside of us, we lose our core inside of us. So now, it's still a work in progress, because it's comfortable, too comfortable yesterday that I almost sat there way too long. And when I was getting up, I realized, you sat there for hours. The sun comes in, it wasn't sunny, but you get that rays of that sun. Just the light. I didn't have to turn on a lamp for me to write. It was just so comfortable. And you can imagine, all these years I've been looking for it and I had it. So that is why we have to learn to protect our inner world. They're telling us we don't have it. But there I am with it and I couldn't find it. And I never spoke to my husband about it, because he would move the world to give it to me. He would cut up one of the windows and made it a door, and he would just go crazy. And that wasn't my reason for not telling him. I just didn't do it, because again, as a woman, we are taught we do not have to have everything. But then there's a realization that hit me this week. Tessa-Marie, everything you ever ask for, you receive. Yeah, that too was an eye-opener for me. I found out that all I do is ask for it, and then it just comes. It doesn't come maybe as quickly as anybody would like it, including me, but it comes. The thing is, we are not protecting our inner world. That's why I couldn't see it was already there. So if you only have this much, in your cup, remember you have to protect it. It's the inner cup that matters, not so much the outside cup. I teach, I encourage you to make sure that one of the things that you have in for working for you is this: what happens outside of you should not affect what is going on or how you react inside of you, or how you react, because we cannot control what's going out there. So when we allow fear to dominate our thoughts, it creates a mental deficit. We start making decisions based on scarcity under the abundance that we know we can have with the 5 pillars of prosperity if we embrace them. You see, inflation-proofing our mind means being selective about what you let through the door of your mind. So we have to watch what we spend our time on. Can we change it? Can we control it? You see, we are given so much to enable us to make the right choices. We hear them, but we do not practice them. And we need to learn to practice those small things that we hear every day. Or a prayer, like the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Do we remember to say that when we are facing some challenging moment, like standing in the supermarket and making a choice what to buy? Can we stand there with the intensity and the energy that is telling us it's challenging and say, oh, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference? I wonder how it would feel if at that moment we stopped and made that choice. I wonder. Would it give us a boost? We have the tools. We were given the tools of survival, but we are so concerned about the outside noise that we forget to go in and get the tool to inflation-proof ourselves from the negative and the constant, not good enough, never surviving. We hear that it's too expensive, you'll never eat. You see, I have a question for you, and if you're bold enough, you can answer it or put it as a comment for later. What is the one thought you have been paying too much attention to lately? What is that? What is that one thought that is dancing in your head? What is it? And you're paying too much attention to that one thought. Explain that. Write it out. What is it? And if it is one that is challenging, ask yourself that question. If you were me, to yourself, what would you do now? This thought is weighing on me that the world is going to hell in a handbasket, that nothing good is coming out of us in 2026. I cannot see the sun shining in 2026. It's challenging to even see the sun in the past few months, especially if you are living in the Northeast. So you see, we have to learn to go back and go deep and realize there's some things we cannot change. Like, as I said, the pundits on the TV, on the news, or wherever they are in the sky and all over, on YouTube and Instagram, they're just bringing you down. Take a look at them. Freeze their frame and check their eyeballs. Look at the eye, because you see, the eye is the seat of the soul.